In this video I'm going to explore the 3D painting feature in Procreate 5.2. Before I start out with explaining the 3D painting in Procreate, I just want to let you know that you can find everything in Procreate because they have updated the handbook. You can find it when you go to Actions, then press on Procreate Handbook. That will take you to the handbook, and when you scroll down you can find a new section about 3D painting, and there you have an overview, because when you never have worked in 3D, that's also handy to just explore the Procreate Handbook. There you can find all the things about importing the files into Procreate. It comes with a set. Just going back to Procreate, because I imported this set of 3D models, and they are specially made for Procreate. So if you want to import these files, you need to go to Actions and also Help, and just press on What's New, and there you can find the model pack. So just tap it, and then they all will be imported into Procreate, so you can start working on the 3D models. You can also import OBJ files and USD-Z files or USD files into Procreate. So now they're all imported. Just gonna start out with the helmet and just explain some basics of painting in 3D. There's a new brush set especially for painting in 3D, and that's called Materials. And there it's a set of 17 brushes, and you can start painting right away on the model. You can use your fingers to rotate the object, and this 3D model has different meshes, and a mesh is a part of the 3D model. When you go to the layers, you find all the different meshes. So there's a hinge mesh, left strap, padding, right strap and visor, and this is the helmet and the stripe is on top of it. You can, before you start painting, you need to select a mesh, and you can start painting right away on the base layer, because every mesh has a base layer. And when you press on the little cube, you have 3 more ways to paint. You can paint in color, you can paint the roughness and the metallic. And roughness and metallic in roughness and metallic you can only paint in grayscale. And you can separate that, or you can just select the base layer and start painting on that. I don't do that, because then you mess up the base layer. What you can do, as in all the 2D painting you're doing in Procreate, you can create a new layer, and with that layer you can start painting on the model. And this is a metallic helmet, so this part has a lot of reflection. And when you check out the brushes, when you tap on it, there's also a new set of which is called Materials, and there you can adjust the amount of metallic a brush has, and also the roughness. And in this brush you can see that the metallic is set to 100%, and here you can adjust the roughness, and you can see what's happening in this model, because when you're in materials you have a globe you can paint on. So when you change the roughness, you see that it gets a little bit more dull and you get more of a structure. You can, of course, like all brushes, change the source. So when you press on metal, you can create, import different source using photos, import a file or the source library. And you can make your own brushes with this brush set, and press on done and see what happens. And now it's more concrete. The same, when you want to reset the brush, you can go to about this brush and reset all settings. So this is the default brush. And you can do that to all the brushes in Procreate. So if you created your own brushes or all the default sets, you can change. So just using this soft brush in airbrushing, go to materials and then change the metallic source. So when I start painting, and this is a very big brush, and maybe select another color. So it's just painting like in 2D, but now you're painting on a 3D model. And I'm now painting the helmet mesh. But when you want to select another mesh, just tap on it and then it is blue so that it is selected. So you can start painting and you can check it in the settings, because now I'm on the stripe setting. And I'm gonna select a new layer. And in this set you cannot do that because it has too many meshes, so you can only use one layer to paint with. You can also use a little bit more of an exciting brush, maybe use these materials, because this one has a lot of metallic in it. So when I paint outside the stripe, it doesn't affect the rest of the helmet. So when you want to paint the helmet again, just press on it and then you can start painting on it. So this is just a fun way. This is the basic of painting on a 3D model. What you also can do is use the transform tool. So press on the transform tool and it's a little bit different, because you see when it's set to automatic that it has a sort of a halo. So it's only selecting what's in front of you. It's only affecting this area of the halo. You can flip it. You can use horizontal and rotate it in 45 degrees. And in advanced you have a lot more options. You can also scale in advance. When you set your Apple Pencil or your finger on the outside, you can scale it up. With these blue blocks you can change the height and the width. And with this pivot point you can rotate what you've painted on the 3D model. There's also projection, and there you can, change the size of your projection that it's projected onto the model. And you can also select bi-directional, and when you then change it, it wraps around your model. So when you scroll down, you see that it wraps around your model. And this way you better can see what's happening. So you can adjust the angle, the rotation, the height and the width of what you've just painted. You can also choose bilinear, and with nearest neighbor you get very hard edges. As you can see, when you select bilinear, it's a little bit softer, especially when you're painting in 3D. The best option is bicubic, because that's a softer transition. When you press on transform again, it's deselected, and you can start painting again. Just going to the settings, press on the little cube here, and here you can see the color, the roughness and the metallic. I just used only the color, but you can also select roughness. Then you can start painting in the roughness of the material. And you can only do that in grayscale. And you can also do that with metallic. So if you choose a very metallic brush, you can change, how things look. Maybe choose another brush. Maybe this one. And you also can paint in a lot of different layers. Only this model has too many meshes, so you cannot use many layers. So I'm just going to open up the vase, which has a lot less meshes, just only one. Also has the base layer and the color, the roughness and metallic. Just going to make a new layer on top of it and start painting on it. Just gonna select the roughness. And now you barely can see something. You see that the glow is a little bit different on the model. I'm gonna change to metallic. And now you can see the effect it has on your model. You also can go inside your model. And there are different ways of painting. And you can also select the color. And with color, you can do a lot of fun things with it. I'm just gonna select inking. Just select the studio pen. Just draw in some flowers. and I'm gonna select a new layer. So you can use it the same way as you're painting in 2D in Procreate. You can also change the blend modes. And you can paint with masks and use, all of these things, fill the layer, clear layer, alpha lock. You can use masks to paint. And you can, of course, use the selection tool to select something, and then use the transform tool rotate it, make it bigger or smaller. And I'm now on the mask layer, so I'm just going to throw this away. Add a new normal layer. And there's another set for 3D painting, and that's in Actions and 3D. The first one is Show 2D Texture. So when you toggle it on, you can see the texture of your painting. And you can also start painting on this. So if you want to, paint something flat, when you turn it off, you can see that it is painted on the 3D model. You can also change the lighting and environment, and then you go to a new menu. You can add lights, up to 4 lights, and this one already has 4 lights. And you can also change the color of the light by pressing on it, and also change the intensity of the light. And you can, place them around. And so you can also rotate it just to see, what's happening. Make this a different color. Apart from that, you can also choose default environments. So there's a studio environment, a savage, auditorium, city, nightlife, portside, industrial, sunrise, beach, mountain, and daytime. And you can also change the exposure of each environment, and you can also toggle the environment off. And you cannot paint in the environment, it's just a background. Then press on done and you can start painting again. 3D painting is possible by using your Apple Pencil, but if you don't have an Apple Pencil, or using a different stylus, or you want to paint with your finger, you can change the settings. And you have to go to Actions, Prefs, and then to Gesture Controls. And in General, it's way down here, you can toggle on Enable 3D Painting with Finger. A finger while holding the square is held will always rotate the 3D model. So when you turn that on, you can start painting with your finger on the model. And now you can only paint with it. When you want to rotate it, you have to press this little square, and then you can rotate it and pinch and zoom it. And when you let go, you can, start painting. on the model again. You can also import an image to the 3D model. So go to Add, insert a photo, then you can choose a photo you want to add, and then it's imported into the model. Now it's set to automatic. Go to Advanced, and there you can, make the selection wrap around your image. Use projection to make it even bigger, the projection, and bi-directional. And when you turn it around, you see that it's wrapped around the object. When you tap on 3D and show 2D texture, you can see how it is built up. You can export this entire texture. If you want a transparent background, you first need to go to Actions, 3D, Environment, and then toggle off Show Environment. And when you then go to Export, Share, Export, you want only the texture to be exported. Go to Share, and then underneath you see Share Texture, so you can share the PNG. Then you can save it to your Mac or another device, or send it to your files. And then a map is created. Choose where you want to save it to. Just gonna save it to my Procreate folder. Then it makes a new folder with the texture in it. When you check it, go to Procreate, Ceramic Vase. There you can see the different textures. So it will save the ambient occlusion, the face color, face metallic, face normal, and the face roughness. And this you can import into a 3D model software. You can also use the reference panel. It's a little bit different. You have to toggle it on. So go to Actions, Reference, toggle it on. And there you have a small sample of your 3D model. And you can turn it around and make it larger, make it smaller. So this helps, if you're just painting on a detail of the 3D model, you can see the overall effect it has. You can also choose 2D. Then it shows the 2D texture of the model, so you can see where you are painting. And you can also use the image just as a reference to paint from the image. So that's a handy tool. When you go to Actions and want more information about your canvas, you can select Canvas Information, and here you can name your file, the date it's created, and you can sign it. And also you can view the statistics of how many strokes there were made, the track time, how long you've been working on this file. If you want to find out more and all the details about 3D painting in Procreate, just go to the handbook, and you can find that when you go to Actions, Help, press on Procreate Handbook, and there's a whole new section about the 3D painting. If you have any more questions about 3D painting, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will be happy to answer them or make a new video. I'm just going to play around a little bit more with the 3D painting, and maybe I can find out some new techniques. But with all new things, you just have to find out new things by trial and error. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, because each time I upload a new video, you get a notification. Drawing is fun, and practice makes perfect. See you next time. Doodles!